Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and today I'm going to be heading up to a relatively new expo. It's their second year, called Geekfest. Now, Geekfest takes place in Everett, which is about 30 minutes north of Seattle, and like I said, I've never been to this one. I'm going to be curious to check it out, and my goal with this is to not necessarily focus on the expensive stuff. We all expect games to be expensive at expos. My challenge here is, can I find games that are good, dare I say hidden gems for a lot of these, that are under 20 bucks? That's going to be my goal for this video, is not focus on the expensive stuff, but actually try to get in and find some of the good deals that are happening on the floor at this expo. The first thing I noticed that this expo is laid out quite differently than the other expos I've been to. As you can see, it is a sports arena, so that's kind of unusual. And almost all of the game vendors are down on the floor, and then you are surrounded by these seats, which is kind of interesting. And then around each deck level are the food vendors, artists, arcade machines, and a lot more. So this layout here definitely inspires you to kind of explore more than you might say if it was one big flat room. But I'm here to find some deals, and right off the bat, I found a copy of Val Ferris on the PlayStation 4 for only 20 bucks. Now, if you're not familiar with this game, it's a pretty hardcore 2D platforming game that was extremely well received when it came out. So if you haven't picked this up, this is a great game. A long time ago, I would pick up plug-and plays when I would go to like thrift stores and pawn shops. Found a copy of Super Pac-Man plug-and play here for only 15 bucks. Windjammers 2 on the Switch. Now this was listed at 22 bucks and the expo just opened, but I was like, dude, would you go down to 20? And he did. So I picked it up. Another game not a lot of people talk about, it's exclusive to the PSP, that is Coded Arms, and it's only $8. This is a first-person shooter. Actually, the first two games came out on the PSP, and they're pretty fun. I already own this, but if you've never played it, you should definitely check it out. Now, I'm kind of all over the place when I'm looking for games here. Again, I'm just kind of looking for, 20 bucks or less. Some of these games I already have, and so I'm just kind of showing you here what some of the deals are, including Kill Switch on the PlayStation 2 for only 8 bucks. Now, I would consider Kill Switch to be a bit of a hidden gem. It's actually a pretty solid third-person shooter, but it was very notable at the time because it introduced this cover system, which was not common at that time when this came out. Pretty cool game, definitely worth 8 bucks. This one here, a lot of people have heard about, of course. I've got a copy as well already, but I saw it here, Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, on the PlayStation 4 for only 20 bucks. If you don't have this game and you like the Lego games or you like Star Wars, you should definitely pick it up. Saw this on the Xbox One for only 10 bucks. It is the Dark Pictures anthology Man of Medan. Now, if you're not familiar with this series, they are really well made, interactive kind of dramas or maybe a survival horror game. It's a lot of quick time events and stuff like that. But what's cool is that you get to choose the path of the story. And so for 10 bucks, man, this is a no-brainer. Definitely pick it up. I really liked it when the Rayman series went back to 2D platforming, and Rayman Legends on the Xbox One for only 20 bucks. Great game. I go back to this one all the time. So if you haven't played the Rayman games in a while, this is highly recommended. And then we covered this on a pickups video recently. Reggie picked it up for the first time. It is Mad Max for only 10 bucks. And there is tons of gameplay included on this. Hours and hours of awesome Mad Max gameplay here. Brawling, driving around, capturing territory, killer game. A lot of people talk about the Need for Speed series and how it's kind of declined over the years. Well, I'm telling you, Need for Speed Heat is the last really good Need for Speed game. I highly recommend it. It's really well made, it's fun to play, and here it's only $10. Infamous Second Son, again for only 10 bucks. This is the third game in the series, and it was developed by Sucker Punch. I like this one. It's not going to be any surprise to anybody because this one takes place in a fictional Seattle. So it's very dear to my heart. Getting back to the PlayStation 2, we have two great games here, Metal Arms and Demon's Stone, each of them for only 15 bucks. Great games for the PlayStation 2 if you're trying to build up your library and you don't have these games, pick them up. I'm lucky that I get to go to several gaming expos a year, but I know that not everybody can attend these. And I'll be honest, I don't always find what I'm looking for at expos like this, and I will go online to do some treasure hunting. That's where an app like Whatnot really helps out. Whatnot is a live stream platform where you can buy, sell, and auction literally anything. For buyers, this is a great place to find deals on video games, both old and new, but also pretty much everything else that you would be interested in. Yes, I do love my video games, but I also collect vinyl records and the occasional Star Wars figure. What's cool is that Whatnot has that and a ton more. It's kind of crazy how big the marketplace is with this app, and it's very busy pretty much 24/7. Now for sellers, you'll have access to thousands of eager shoppers looking to buy what you're selling. The average seller on Whatnot earns around $25K a year, which works out to be about 10 times more transactions compared to other peer-to-peer marketplaces. And as a special bonus to Metal Jesus viewers, once you download the app using my link, you're going to get $20 from Whatnot to spend anywhere on their app. They normally do $15, but for my audience, they're bumping that up to 20 bucks. That $20 credit will be automatically added to your wallet and applied at checkout. But that special deal for Metal Jesus viewers is for a limited time only, so you're going to want to jump on this immediately. So whether you're looking for video games, music, sneakers, toys, jewelry, or more, you're definitely going to want to check out Whatnot, and I want to thank them for sponsoring this video. I have not thought about the darkness in quite a while, but when this game first came out on the Xbox 360, I loved it. At the time, there was no other first-person game quite like this, and seeing it's only 15 bucks, again, highly recommended if you haven't checked it out. You guys know I love my racing games, and Extreme G Racing on the GameCube is a good one. It's not fantastic, it's not perfect, but it is really fun. Often forgotten, and I think a good deal at the $15 range. And then check it out, all those great James Bond games that came out on the PlayStation 2. And they're cheap! And they're still really fun to play today. I love all of those games, and sadly, they don't make them like this anymore, do they? And speaking of games that are kind of forgotten, here we have Project Snowblind on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and this game is cheap at only 8 bucks. Now, the thing with this game is that it started development as a new Deus Ex game, and then they switched in the middle of development, but it still has a lot of those original RPG elements in this game. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's not a perfect game, but I do think it's worth a playthrough for fans of Deus Ex, because it's pretty interesting, actually. Max Payne 3 for $10. Now, this game is kind of divisive, right? It's so different from the first two games. The third game is radically different as far as its graphical style. But I recently replayed this game, and I still think it's way better than a lot of people say. I really like this game, actually. It does have a kind of annoying graphical thing that they're trying to do, this glitchy thing that they do. They do it way too much, but the game is solid, it's fun, and for 10 bucks, yeah, highly recommended. Checking out some Wii games, you see Boom Blocks here on the Wii for only 9 bucks. Now, years ago, I talked about Boom Blocks as a hidden gem, and I stand by that. This game is fantastic. It uses the Wii motion controls in really interesting and intuitive ways. Fantastic game. If you haven't played it, definitely check it out. Here's another game that a lot of people don't talk about anymore. That is Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles on the Wii for 14 bucks. This is a pretty cool on-rail shooter which received some good reviews when it was originally released. And again, now it's kind of forgotten, especially because it's so different than the other Resident Evil games in the series. But on the Wii with the motion controls, kind of playing this like a light gun, it's super fun. Next is a horizontal shooter that keeps coming up in best of lists all these years later. That is Sign Mora EX on the Switch for $15. I'm still playing this game all these years later, and I keep coming back to it because it's so unique. It's so beautiful. The graphic style is just, you know, full 3D. It's just gorgeous. And most games like this don't look like it, so definitely stands out. Here is Cris Tales on the Switch for 15 bucks. Now, I talked about this game, gosh, it was a couple years ago. It was either a pickups video or a hidden gems video, but basically this is a RPG that has a really cool time jumping mechanic. It's very unique, has a really cool art style. You've never played a game quite like this, and if you are looking for something different, you like RPGs and you like time travel games, you should definitely check this out. Now, this is what I'm looking for at expos. This booth had a sign that said every game in here was $5 or 3 for 10 bucks. I love this because, yes, it's a bunch of common Xbox 360 games and PlayStation 3 games, but almost all of them are good titles. This is a great way to pick up those games that, you know, you played years ago, you kind of forgot about, maybe you don't have them in your collection. This is the way to do it. And speaking of good deals, I've mentioned this in the past, but always go looking for the tables that have imports, because common NES games that came out in, you know, the US, well, you can often get them for even cheaper if you get the import version. So for instance, a lot of the NES versions of these games would be like $20. Well, here as the import, they're often under 10 bucks. So great deals. And so that, guys, is a quick run through of my time visiting Geekfest up in Everett, Washington. And again, the point of this video was to show that there are some good deals to be had at these expos. Yes, there are the really expensive things, and that's cool to see. I love seeing those as well. But I'm cheap, and I am often looking for deals. I'm looking for the games that other people are passing by. And I wanted to share that with you guys because I think a lot of you who watch these videos, you're looking for the next game to play or the next game to add to your collection. And you don't want to spend a ton of money. So that was the point of this video. And so there you go. I hope you found this interesting. And as always, guys, I want to thank you for watching my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and take care.